The sky cracked open above me like glass under a hammer, and before I could even drop the wrench in my hand, something fell out of it and slammed into the gas station roof beside me. I am Ethan, and I was just closing up my truck when the world turned upside down. Sparks flew, metal screamed. A girl, if I could even call her that, rolled out of the wreckage and landed hard on the concrete. Her skin caught the streetlight in a strange way, almost silver, and her eyes were too large, too gold, to belong to anyone from this planet. She looked straight at me, blood running down her forehead, and gasped one word: male. Before I could ask what she meant, she grabbed my wrist with a grip that felt like a machine, not a hand, and pulled me toward the dark tree line behind the station. "Wait," I said. "Who are you? What is happening?" "No time," she said. "They are still tracking my ship. Move, or we both die here." I do not know why I ran with her instead of pulling free. Maybe it was the fear in her voice. Maybe it was the way the sky above us was still glowing red, like something was searching the clouds for her. Whatever the reason, I ran. We reached an old grain silo hidden behind the trees, rusted and forgotten, the kind of place kids dare each other to enter and never do. She pressed her palm against a patch of rust that was not rust at all, and the metal folded open like a flower, revealing a stairway that spiraled down into soft blue light. "Down here," she said, quickly. I hesitated at the top of the stairs. Every instinct told me to turn and run the other way, back to my truck, back to my ordinary life. But there was something in her eyes, something close to desperation, that made me follow her instead. "My name is Kess," she said as we descended. "I flew for the wandering fleet until my ship was hit. I did not choose to land near you. I chose to survive, and you were the only one close enough to help me do that." "Help you how?" "You will see." The stairway opened into a massive cavern, lit by strips of pale blue light along a ceiling so high it looked like a sky of its own. And it was full of people. Not ordinary people. Alien women of every shape and color. Some with skin like stone, some with eyes that glowed faintly in the dark, all living inside shelters built from broken ship parts and woven cloth. I counted rows of small fires, lines of hanging lanterns, children running between tents, laughter mixing with quiet conversation. There were easily 1,000 of them. Every single one stopped what they were doing and turned to look at me. The silence that followed was heavier than anything I had ever felt. A woman stepped forward from the crowd, tall, with skin like brushed silver, and eyes sharp enough to cut glass. Her voice carried across the cavern before she even reached us. "Kess," she said, "you were told never to bring an outsider here. Explain yourself. Now." "He is not just an outsider, Vaughn," Kess said. "He is a man, and right now, we need one." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Some stepped back. Some stared at me like I was a ghost. A few even reached for weapons hidden beneath their clothing. "You know what happened the last time we trusted a man," Vaughn said, her voice sharp with old pain. "We lost everything because of it." "I remember," Kess said quietly. "I was there too, but our reactor is failing, Vaughn. In 3 days, this shelter goes dark, and every person here becomes visible to the ones hunting us. I did not have the luxury of choosing someone we already trusted. I had to choose someone who was simply there, and who could fix a machine." Vaughn turned to me, studying my face like she was searching for a lie hidden somewhere in it. "Can you fix a reactor?" she asked. "I fix farm machines," I said honestly. "Tractors, engines, generators. I have never even seen an alien reactor." "Then you will learn quickly," Vaughn said, "or we will all learn how fast a shelter can fall apart in the dark." That night, I did not sleep. Kess led me through narrow tunnels carved from rock, past rooms filled with quiet conversation and soft laughter that stopped whenever I passed. We reached a chamber at the heart of the cavern, where a massive coupling of metal and glowing wire pulsed weakly, like a heartbeat trying not to stop. "This is what keeps us hidden," Kess said. It bends the signals that scanners use to find ships and shelters like ours. Without it, we are visible to anyone searching the sky. And it is dying. Slowly, yes. My ship carried a part that could stabilize it, but the crash damaged most of what I had. What remains is small, but it might be enough, if someone with steady hands can install it correctly. I looked at the tangled wiring, the strange symbols etched into every panel, and felt my stomach tighten. Back home, a mistake meant a stalled engine. Here, a mistake could mean 1,000 lives. "Show me everything you know about it," I said. "We start now." For the next 2 days, I barely stopped moving. Kes translated symbols that looked like sheet music mixed with wiring diagrams, while I traced wires with blistered fingers, testing connections, rebuilding what I could with tools that were half alien and half whatever I managed to improvise. A small, quiet alien named Piri began bringing me warm drinks that tasted like honey mixed with smoke, appearing and disappearing without a word, always watching me with curious eyes. Vaughn checked on my progress often, arms crossed, saying little, but never fully leaving the room. I noticed she watched not just my hands but my face, as if trying to catch a flicker of dishonesty. "You do not trust me," I said during one of those visits. "I have no reason to," she answered. "The last men who came into a shelter like this one smiled just as easily as you do, right before they sold our location for their own safety." "I am not here to sell anyone out," I said. "I am here because Kes pulled me into a hole in the ground and told me people would die if I did not help." "Words are easy," Vaughn said. "Actions are harder." I did not argue. I simply kept working, because arguing would not fix a reactor, and only the reactor could prove anything I said. By the final hour of the second day, sparks jumped from the coupling as I connected the last wire, and for a terrifying second, every light in the cavern flickered and died. Screams echoed faintly through the tunnels above us. My hands shook, but I forced myself to stay calm and check the connection one more time, exactly as Kes had shown me. Then, slowly, the coupling hummed back to life, brighter and steadier than before. The blue lights above returned, stronger and clearer, chasing away the darkness that had crept into every corner of the shelter. A cheer rose from somewhere above us, spreading through the tunnels like a wave. It was not for me. It was for the light itself, for the safety it represented, for a sky they could finally imagine seeing without fear. Vaughn walked into the chamber as the noise settled, her eyes studying the glowing coupling, then finally settling on me. "It is stable," she said, more to herself than to me. "It should hold for a long while now," I said. "Longer, if someone learns how to maintain it properly." "And will you be the one to teach that?" "If you want me to stay," I said, "I will." She studied me for a long moment, the same searching look from before, but softer this time. "You could have let it fail," she said. "You could have sabotaged it quietly, and no one here would have known until it was too late." "I thought about that," I admitted, "for half a second, when I was scared and tired and unsure if any of you would ever trust me. But then I thought about what it means to walk away from people who need help, just because it would be easier." Vaughn did not answer right away. Instead, she reached out and gripped my wrist, the same crushing strength I had felt from Kes on the night we met, and pulled me gently to my feet. "You may stay," she said, "but trust is earned slowly here, not given freely. You will work, you will listen, and you will prove yourself again and again, until doubt no longer follows you through these halls." "That sounds fair," I said. Behind her, Kes was smiling, the kind of smile that told me she had expected this outcome long before I had even considered it possible. As I looked around the cavern, filled with warm light and quiet relief, I thought about how strange my life had become in only 3 days. A week ago, I was closing up a gas station in the middle of nowhere, worried about nothing more than a slow evening and an empty wallet. Now I stood in the middle of a hidden world beneath the earth, surrounded by 1,000 women from 100 different stars, all of them watching me with a mixture of caution and cautious hope. It was not the life I expected. It was not the life anyone could have prepared me for. But standing there, feeling the steady hum of the reactor beneath my feet, I realized something simple and clear. Sometimes the sky opens, and instead of running from what falls out of it, you choose to catch it, and in catching it, you find a place you never knew you were looking for.